Professor Noor Alazi, thank you very much for those wonderful ideas. I congratulate you and your team and all those young people you enable around you and
Thank you.
for USM to continue this collaboration to have this UNESCO chair on eco hydraulics for sustainable water management. And also, Dato Hisham, for your excellent contributions today. And really, you have shown the value of data, the models, and how we bring this data to the common people. In summary, this UN Resolution 64292 from 2010, very important for all of us. Water as a human right. UN General Assembly has declared that water should be provided as a human right, both for the drinking water as well as for the sanitation. And if water as a human right and water sanitation as a human right is enforced, all human rights will benefit from it. So no other human rights can be fully realized without realizing the water as a human right. And it's very important as part of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG number 6. DID has been playing a very important role over many years. And the Director General, Dato Hisham, has given us many ideas also about the smart solutions like smart tunnel, which is basically about managing flood waters from a river basin. And it builds on the data, early warning systems, but also very importantly, as it goes through a very flat terrain through the river in the city, it actually is a very innovative solution where if based on this data and early warning, this tunnel can be used to let water go and pass through 30 kilometers downstream and come back to the river. But at the same time, when there is no flood, we can deal with another big problem, which is the traffic problem. And for that, of course, people are willing to pay, and the investment comes from public and private. And in the long run, for the success of the project, people get also the benefit of flood protection, water security, but also the traffic problem is solved. So in this way, the society moves forward, and there is a greater role of data and networks there. And we have heard from Professor Azazi the solution such as the green campus, which is very important and interesting, and the concept of eco hydraulics. How can we use our landscapes in a better way? How can we avoid the concrete channels instead? How can we use the natural topography and the way we store and the way we harvest water in a better way? Also, very importantly, this concept of making sure there is no impacts of developments onto the sediment loads of the river. And to be able to do that, and also no impact from the water quality impacts point of view as well, because the water is a human right. We need to make sure upstream, downstream users do not get the disproportionate impacts from developments. So for that, there is very important to have these coordination mechanisms, where the example from Malaysia, DID plays very important role in this coordination, brings also the other development players, brings the local governments as well as the local stakeholder. Very important message today, I would say, as sustainability insight, which is from Dato Hisham, is data has a value beyond engineering and beyond our pure hydrology ideas. It is for the people. And for the people, the data must be clearly understood. Then the benefits of data would be much bigger. Very clearly, there are benefits for Malaysia for learning about hydrology from other countries where the situations can be very different, and for other countries to learn from Malaysia. For the hydrological cycle, there are extremes like floods as well as droughts. We need to very carefully look into how do we have the full understanding of the hydrological cycle, and the collaboration like the Human Center from Kuala Lumpur under DID with the collaboration coming from Nigeria is an excellent example of South-South cooperation. But also in other parts of Asia and Pacific, for example, Indonesia and Malaysia working very closely is another great example. And certainly there is a lot more we can learn together. Research can certainly help, and Professor Azazi has clearly shown us that there must be a clear linkage from the university to the government, and of course, vice versa as well, and to the industry and to the local people. Only then the universities will be able to do the research which is really needed. And very importantly, how do we turn competition into collaboration? Do things bigger which cannot be delivered by individuals. and also empowering young people, which is a great example of Professor Azazi's group, that as we empower young people, they achieve many things for themselves and for the universities like USM. I congratulate DID and I look forward to the leadership of Dato Hisham, a great supporter of Intergovernmental Hydrological Program as the president of IHP Malaysia, and now Professor Azazi as the chair of the new UNESCO chair on eco-hydraulics, and to bring whole of the university approach, and I'm sure bring also the strengths of IHP in Malaysia and linking all stakeholders in Malaysia together to offer more South-South cooperation. And certainly, this UNESCO chair is a great example of MUCP success. With that, we thank you all, and we will try to answer all your questions in the usual way, individually through our eminent panelists, Dato, Haji, our dear Hisham, and also our Professor Dr. Zazi. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Over to you, dear Hazlan.
Thank you, Professor Shabazz, Dato Haji Nur Hisham, and Professor Dr. Nur Azazi. Thank you to